And hello, friends. I'm Jim Nance along with Nick Faldo for the Masters tournament. No, hello, friends. It is football after. It is one of the best weekends of the year. It is the Masters. And so we say hello, friends, to everyone. Jim Nance was telling a great story this week about the origin of Hello Friends. And it was really fascinating. Before I get to the rest of the crew, I wanted to open with this. It seems like such a simple thing, right? Kind of leading you into one of the most gorgeous vistas in the world. But really, the story came from his father. His father was on his deathbed, basically. I think it was cancer or something of that sort. I don't remember back in the day. And basically, he told it was Jim Nance's first time because he always dreamed of working at CBS Sports. It's his first covering a major tournament, the PGA, back in the day. I think it was the 80s or early 90s. And he told his father that to open the show, to basically talk to him directly, he would say, "Hello, friends." And for some reason, people liked it so much that he thinks about his father every time he opens the Masters with "Hello, friends. Welcome to the Masters and welcome to Augusta National." So as we celebrate this amazing week of golf, it has been a fantastic week of golf. Been one of the most interesting weeks of golf in a long time, with Rory up by 6 strokes as we currently speak. He's about to tee off in about 20 minutes. We will keep you up to date on everything with the Masters, as we unfortunately have to talk about something really difficult and awful in this current week. But we say hello, friends, to Brandon, Scoop, and Shane. Hello, friends. How are you doing on this wonderful Saturday as we hang out in our individual places and watch the golf happening in Augusta? How are you all doing?
Chilling.
Here with the best group of 4 since the core 4. How could you be any?
I like that.
I like that. That's good. It's good. And hello to all your friends, or all our friends, and everyone listening to us. Hello, friends. We were a little bit delayed as we had to take care of some business things for some future shows that we are scheduling over the next few weeks as we get prepared for the draft. Thank you for your time and your effort. Aloha, Patrick. Good to have you. And with that, Patrick coming here. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I coming onto the show, and every morning in the Masters, I put on the coffee pot and put on some Lion coffee, the vanilla macadamia. I'm putting that on. If you know,
that sounds so good. I can't wait to try that.
It's so good. As you see right here, Lion Coffee. Patrick coming in is a perfect time to plug our official coffee, Football After Hours Lion Coffee. If you want to enjoy the Masters, there's nothing more beautiful than waking up in the morning, turning on the Masters with a cup of Lion Coffee. So go get yours at lioncoffeecompany.com as you watch some beautiful golf. Patrick has sent me photos of him golfing in Hawaii. So if you want to taste a cup of Hawaii coffee while you're watching golf or playing golf,
gorgeous.
Oh my God, they're incredible. While you're playing golf or watching golf, there's nothing better than a cup of Lion Coffee. So thank you to him. We'll promote him again at some point later in the show, but it's always right here, so you know where to go. Happy Saturday to our wonderful Nicole Gizzi, who, I don't even know how she approached to do this or how she did this as spectacular as she did. Our background has changed because we have a new logo. I'm not keeping it up here for the whole time because I don't want to block Brandon's incredible musical and sports vista back there. But here is our new logo.
That's
absolutely
freaking
just
gorgeous.
Unbelievable work by graphic designer and now official executive producer of Football After Hours, Nicole Gizzi. Thank you for all the wonderful work that you have done
Thank you, Nikki.
for us the last few weeks. And then same with Shane. Shane's been doing a ton of behind the scenes work with music production, not only our theme. We won't be doing our theme today because this is just a really difficult topic to get into. So I want to approach it in the best way possible. I don't think the theme song fits. I apologize, Shane. It just won't fit for this discussion. I know I've been rambling for a bit. Let me do it for a couple more minutes to set the scene here about what we're going to talk about. So this came out around Tuesday. And here was my approach to this throughout the week. On Tuesday, there are photos in page 6 of the New York Post. If you know how gossiping and celebrities work, the two places you don't want to be is on TMZ or page 6 of the New York Post. So, page 6 of the New York Post, about 2 hours from the league meetings in Phoenix, Arizona, in Sedona, which is normally a massive resort for quote unquote romantic getaways, we see what I would argue is not necessarily suggestive, but somewhat questionable photos between the head coach of the New England Patriots, Mike Rabel, and senior NFL insider at The Athletic, Diana Rossini. We've had our issues and suspicions, honestly, with her for the last year and change. We have talked about it consistently, especially with our two Eagles fans here who have been very upset with her consistent A.J. Brown reporting, which I will absolutely let you both have floor on this in terms of that. You are welcome to speak on it however you wish, even from a fan perspective. And I know that Shane has a lot to say on Rabel's piece of, so we got you all covered across the board. So originally when this came out, I know that everyone was kind of freaking out about it. Normally when it comes to this, we want to be very careful about how we approach it. So on Tuesday, it's pictures, it's people's personal lives, it's all these things. Basically, the rule of thumb in media is if they release statements, you talk about it. If they don't, you don't talk about it because there's nothing there, even if it looks rough. So when it got announced, I was like, okay, we probably will touch this for about 5 minutes as quickly as we can with respect to both of them and move on. 2 hours later, they all release statements. Mike Rabel calls it, and I quote, laughable, which is an interesting phrasing. Diana Rossini says something that was even more confusing, basically saying there were other friends and other, NFL people, well, mostly friends, which I assume is NFL people in the area. Very confusing. The Athletic basically comes out and essentially defends her. That at least is kind of reading between the lines of their post. And then it kind of progresses from there. You see media and everyone kind of taking charge, social media. You've seen a lot of those clips that you might have seen over the past few years, particularly FS1 clips in the past Super Bowls that Fox has had with her kind of bad-mouthing her husband in different ways and saying that she's been to all these different parties. Very questionable and very, I argue, quote-unquote, suggestive quotes, really, to be as truthful as possible. And then here's a scoop for everyone who is in the media or is learning media. One of the things you learn, particularly when it comes to political media, but this also happens with every news network, including every news conglomerate, including the NFL. Friday night is what's called, this is a real thing, called the quote unquote, what we like to call it in the business. Well, this is what I call it, the Friday news dump. What does that mean? The idea of a Friday news dump, and again, I apologize. I've taken 9 minutes of the show. I just want to solve this. The Friday news dump is basically this idea that it's Friday. I went to the Mariners game. Everyone is doing other things, partying, enjoying the weekend. Nobody cares about the news. Nobody talks about it until Monday. Well, joke is on you guys because we do this show on the weekend. So we get first dibs on this in terms of discussing it. So and the Friday report was what Brandon and I, as we talked about this throughout the week, expected the Friday news dump to be. The Athletic is now investigating it. They should have investigated earlier, but they put it out on a Friday, so nobody talks about it on a Saturday. Well, guess what? We talk about it on a Saturday because we have a Saturday show. So there we go. That's the preface. Brandon and Scoop, I'll go to you guys first, as I know you guys have some thoughts. I know you guys talk about throughout the week, but especially as Eagles fans. So, Brandon, you have the floor. Thank you for letting me take the first 10 minutes to kind of preface this, give you guys background on how I wish we to approach this in terms of the smartest way we can approach it, because it's still very touchy. Thank you for the 10 minutes of allotted. I yield to our crew, starting with Brandon.
Yeah, it's, and it looks bad right now for multiple fronts. It looks bad on her It looks bad on Vrabel. It looks bad on the Athletic because they release statements, and you would figure, oh, we'll talk about it, whatever, and then it'll go away. But then you get basically less than 2 days later. Now the Athletic is investigating it. So even if nothing comes out of it, that just automatically is a red flag to me. That means that it goes deeper than just letting this go and thinking that there's nothing that happened there. So that to me is already, raising alarm bells. But when it comes to, and I won't beat the Philly thing like a dead horse, because it's like we've talked about it. We talked about it so much last year, but it's just, to me, when I look at this entire situation, what she's doing, to me, in my eyes, and from what I've learned about obviously being a journalism major, it's an abuse of power. It's an abuse of stature. It's basically using your platform to have certain, privileges that you should not have. And when I think about, and it's just so, because in journalism, there's ways to cultivate sources. There's ways to cultivate relationships that don't go this far. And if you always hear about sources, and Rob and I were talking about this, but going out to dinner with your sources, that happens. Going out to certain, maybe a golf tournament, that happens, whatever it might be. But when you are hugging, because we forget this, we're not implying that she's doing something wrong in terms of sexual relations, but as a professional, you don't hug, your sources like that. You don't hold hands. You don't sit there cracking jokes, basically like locking arms with them in the pool next to each other, like sunbathing. Like that is too close. In journalism, that does not happen. And if it does, you should be fired for it. I'm sorry. It's not right, and it is not. That's not how you're supposed to cultivate relationships. That's going too far, and and to me, the way I look at it is, because we've heard this whole thing before with her, in other ways that she's dealt with sources, but using quote unquote pretty privilege, that is still a thing. Like, I'm sorry, to me that's a thing that I see sometimes in sports, mostly, not so much in other news, but in sports. And it's tough because there are many great women in this industry who, they do break down barriers, they do kick down doors, they trailblaze. But she is a perfect example of an abuse of power to me, because even when she was on ESPN before she moved to the Athletic, she was already questionable. Her reporting was already very inconsistent. So I don't understand how someone like that has gotten so far in the business, being so bad at their job. But it's like, because if that was us right now, and the way that, and how small we are compared to her, we'd be laughed at, out of the building, done. That's it. You would never hear from us again. And it's just, I don't like how, we've been hearing for the last 2 years, and I will mention the one I said I wasn't going to mention, but I will mention it just briefly. The AJ Brown stuff. Whether he might be gone post June 1st, we don't know yet. Whatever. But the fact that you are pushing this so hard every day down everyone's throat, and now we're seeing this come out with your relationship, with your whatever relationship you have with Vrabel. Now we kind of know, now you're kind of getting exposed, like that. Like, it's not supposed to be, this obvious, pretty much, where all this stuff is coming from. And and now it's coming to light. It's just, everything about this, just, it flies. And just even from a personal standpoint, from personal relationship standpoints, you are both married. You don't do this. You don't act like that if you're married. I don't care if you're trying to, get information. I don't care what you're doing. to me, it just shows that you're a sleazeball. I'm sorry. It's ridiculous to act this way when you're married. And it's like it flies in the face of morality. It flies in the face of ethical journalism. It flies in the face of what we know in terms of, news gathering just at a basic level, and especially for us covering sports, covering football. It's not right no matter how you slice this. And it's like, she's not the first that we've had, controversies about, but the fact that she's doing it so openly with, how she's talked about her husband on live TV, on national TV, and now how this looks, and how you're out in the open at a resort, doing this with an NFL head coach. It's not a good look at all. And the thing is, no matter if nothing comes out of this, it still is just a stain, because that's an image that you'll have for a long. These images and this story, like, this won't go away from the public consciousness. This, because we know that, especially in sports, and especially in journalism and in media, things last forever. So this is a black stain, no matter which way you look at it. And I just can't sit here, like, I can't imagine, just like, if that was my job, I don't care, like, the worst part is even the statement that she makes, saying that there was other people there. I'm like, but her and Vrabel's statements, like, and I've told everybody this in the chat, it doesn't seem like it's like, you're flat out, denying any wrongdoing. You sound more paranoid and guilty based on what you're saying in your statements, because, the second she's saying that, there's other people there, yada, 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 you're not denying it. You're deflecting to try to get heat off yourself. So that's not, if you really weren't doing anything wrong, then you'd be denying it flat out, or at least you'd be trying to do your best to deny it. But the fact that neither of them openly denied it, and also Vrabel was so short on his response to it, that leads me to believe that, it's like, it's too fishy for something not to have happened, because it wouldn't be this awkward and it wouldn't be this unsettling. So it's like I said, I forget what show, it might have been What's the Scoop the other day, but I said, like, I feel like I have to take a shower after all this, because, like, it's just like it feels disgusting to me that, like, this is, like, I like, we've seen other instances, like I said before, like, we've seen other instances of kind of, getting too close to a source, whatever. We see it even in movies and TV, like, it's a trope about people getting too deep.
I'm sorry, we see it. It's literally how the NFL gathers information. Where do you think all the sources for contracts come from? Agents.
Yeah.
Drew Rosenhaus.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, and it's like, but it's like we've never just seen it so, like, flaunted out in the open like this, that it's like, it just, like, even at a base level, if nothing did happen, it still makes her look sloppy, and makes, like, both of them look sloppy at the very least. So it's still not, to quote George Girardi, it's not what you want. But it's bad on every account. But I'll let Scoop go on it, because I can go on to the Eagles things, but we've talked about that for so long. So I'll let Scoop handle whatever he's got to handle with it.
Thanks, Brandon. So you made a lot of great points from the journalism side of things, and I'm glad that you did, because, again, you actually studied journalism, which I did not do. I kind of got into it from the hands-on standpoint, but I did not actually study it as a major the way you did. So I appreciate that you said that. I also want to, before I get into talking about the statements, I also want to actually just read the quotes that were said by each individual.
Please do. I wasn't. I wasn't going to do that, but I'm glad that you want to do it. So please, I would
Yeah.
love you to do.
So
Please.
Vrabel said, quote, "These photos show a completely innocent interaction and any suggestion otherwise is laughable. This does not deserve any further response." And then Rossini, according to the New York Times, stated, these photos don't represent this group of 6 people who were hanging out during the day. Like most journalists in the NFL, reporters interact with sources away from stadiums and other venues." And then it went on where Steven Ginsberg, which is the executive editor at The Athletic, stated, "These photos are misleading and lack essential context. These were public interactions in front of many people, okay, unless they were invisible. Diana is a premier journalist covering the NFL, and we're proud to have her at The Athletic."
I'm sorry,
So-
premiere. The premiere thing made me die. I'm sorry, Scoop, to interrupt you.
Yeah,
The premiere thing made me
yeah,
die. I'm so
I-
sorry, dude. I don't mean to interrupt. You're
No, you're
doing
good,
that because that's
because,
amazing. But premiere pissed me off. I almost.
Well, you know,
I have
but
this
you know
water
why?
bottle. I almost chucked it, bro.
but like, you know,
It
like
pissed me
before
off.
Scoop continues, you know why it sounds so bad too? You're backing her that hard, and then literally less than 48 hours later, you're launching an investigation into her.
Because
So
there was
it's
so much,
like-
because there was so much pressure. They were like, "Well, Friday news dump. Let's just announce we're
Well,
investigating her."
you know what they're gonna do, right? They're gonna probably say we didn't find anything because it's the Athletic doing their own internal investigation. So it's like it's not gonna make any sense.
Yeah.
Like,
Please continue, Scoop. Thank you for letting us interrupt you there. I'm so pissed
Yeah.
off at these statements.
Yeah. So anyway, I think it's pretty obvious from the context why I read those statements right off the rip. And I'm gonna go to a couple of things that were said. This one was stated by Craig Carton on the Craig Carton Show, of whom I'm not historically a fan, but I think this is something that needs to be said in this situation. "It just confirms what a lot of guys already think. So all the other really talented women, they got set back by this through no fault of their own."
Exactly.
And that needed to be said. And it is incredibly, I don't even want to say unfortunate or disheartening. It's actively angering that this is something that will become not only a reflection of her, if anything is found, if for lack of a better word, but it will be held against people who had nothing to do with this. And that is unfair, but it is a reflection of the situation. And I'm sorry, but like I can think back over a decade. Okay, my father's a Red Sox fan, and if anybody who knows Nesson, there was a woman on there by the name of Jenny Dell, who was a rising sideline reporter on the network after Heidi Watney left. She started dating a then player for the Red Sox by the name of Will Middlebrooks. As a result, what did she do? She stepped aside because she didn't want a conflict of interest, which is the right thing to do in that situation. And I bring this up to just kind of juxtapose the fact that, again, I know it's player versus coaches, report, one thing or another. But just looking at this from the standpoint at which the developments kind of came together, Nikki saying Brandon is invested on. I mean, we all are. We all are.
Wait, really quick, Scoop. We all are invested, but for the 2 people in here, Brandon and myself, who dedicated 4 flipping years of our lives going to classes about this exact thing, which is labeled on a classroom wall in all caps, do not jeopardize your journalistic integrity.
Yep.
Big letters.
That was beaten into our heads.
Smacked into it, and we almost got a concussion for how much it was smacked into our heads. That's why Brandon and I are this passionate about it, because this was beaten into our heads like a drum. That's why.
And I'm passionate about it because I look at it from the other perspective of spending years in locker rooms and understanding how a situation like this will affect that dynamic. But I'll get to that shortly.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
Please continue, Scott.
And And yes, now I am going to make kind of the crossover into what Brandon and I mean, it needs to be said in some capacity because it's relevant. We go back now to, I have a report that I pulled up, which dates back to the middle of November. So this is around the trade deadline in the NFL. And the reports that she started to make regarding the New England Patriots and A.J. Brown. And I'm sorry, if you want to completely destroy your credibility, if not across the board, at least as insofar as it comes to any reports regarding the New England Patriots, what a hell of a way to do it. I couldn't think of a better way to do it. Because the fact now that, and you go back, and if that wasn't disgusting enough, you can go back even a little bit to, I've never heard of this podcast. It's called the Stugatz and Company podcast.
Oh, yeah.
From February 5th.
I love those guys.
Okay, I've never heard of them. But Diana Rossini was on this podcast, and among other quotes, she said, I wasn't in shape for this. She said of her busy schedule. Free agency, you rev up, you're ready for it. Like, I'm going to be committed to this for 12 days. I'm not going to eat. I'm not going to sleep. My family's going to hate me for this. My husband's going to threaten divorce. This is the same husband, and she goes on and mentions divorce 2 or 3 more times. This is the same husband who she compared to Vrabel a few months prior by saying he was an average man. And we stated this a couple days ago. So, I'm not going to go ahead and repeat everything I said that day. But this is a situation in which you have blurred the lines so damn much and so many times. If you make one offhanded statement, then whatever. Or if or if you're photographed playing, tennis with somebody one-on-one and it's a one-off, then what the hell ever. Okay. This now is a paper trail. Okay. To quote the T.I. song or the T.I. album, whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
This is now a paper trail going back to multiple months ago, if not beyond that, where you're stated making flattering comments about him, flattering comments that if we were going to criticize this woman who was on a much smaller level for trying to console and comfort Liam Cohen in that press conference, a few months ago after the Jaguars season,
I thought that was disgusting. Brand, I thought it was disgusting.
I know.
We were despised.
It's like
despised by
it. The sentiment I understand, but you do that in private. You don't
exactly.
do that after the presser, not before.
Exactly. And this is going to be a very quick aside, but I don't know if Brandon saw this, but you see the rumors that were going around that it was Big Dom who took the pictures.
That's so funny. I do want to get to something that Nikki said, because this is something that has, and again, Nikki, I have immense respect for you. This is about me as a journalist thinking about what you just said. I'm not talking about it personally. I'm saying as a journalist, you're saying, can it be said for players betting? If I compare this to players betting, I deserve to be fired right now. I deserve to not be on this show. The reason why is because players betting on themselves, and this, we've talked about this before, about with Calvin Ridley, and how we talked about how it's different. It's different because, and how the NFL hasn't approached it well. Because how should he be suspended 1 year when we've had players with awful sexual assault issues get 4 games? The difference between players betting or betting on themselves from a sporting standpoint is that when you have a situation that's not bad from a sporting perspective, we can take the NFL out of it. That's a whole different thing in itself. At least from a journalistic perspective, the stuff that Brandon and I have learned and have been beaten into our heads for 4 years, exactly what Nicole said, integrity.
Exactly.
That's the difference. The difference is not, and again, when it comes to what Nikki said, I'm not talking about just the journalistic integrity. The journalistic integrity is also how we're speaking about this right now. We cannot go out and say, oh, I have proof that they have sex and I have the video. If I said that on the show, I should be fired because it's inaccurate. That's called journalistic integrity. But it's also understanding that when it comes to the intersection of people's personal lives and people's professional lives, because look,
Yep.
if you're betting or betting on yourself, that's not an intersection of personal and professional. That's just professional. You're screwing up your professional integrity as a player. But when you're talking about personal lives, when you're talking about relationships, when you're talking about affairs, there is a level of privacy and respect. But there also is a level of, hey, if this affects your business, either personally and professionally,
And I
then
understand-
you're
I
a
understand.
public, then you're a public figure. Yes, Scoop.
Okay, because I'm glad you mentioned the privacy thing. It is one thing if it doesn't make it right, but it is one thing if they were photographed like going into a hotel room or one thing or another. They were on an outdoor court.
Yeah.
And by the way, Nikki, I know about the Evander Kane thing. I just don't know that much to comment. I cannot comment on something that I haven't researched. I know about it, but I can't comment on something that I haven't doubled down. I can't. I cannot get into that. So I apologize.
You want to hear the craziest? You want to hear the craziest thing real quick before we get to Shane's part of it? Is like you are taught in journalism that any conflict of interest is basically it's grounds for suspension, termination, especially when you get involved, like when you are involved in it and don't take yourself out of it. So basically, when it comes to a conflict of interest, this is how you can tell. Like, I saw so many people in the comments saying, "Oh, who cares if she was, doing this, and this with him?" I'm like, because it's a conflict of interest. You know who's going to care? Lawyers and your job. They're going to care.
The federal government's going to care.
The federal government's going to care.
Is going to care.
Yeah.
So that's why I can't stand when people are like, oh, like you can tell how people have like the IQ in the United States, that the reading level in the United States is at a third grade level because they don't understand what conflict of interest means and what it is. And it's like, because I saw so many people in comment sections saying, oh, she didn't do anything that bad. I'm like, so you think that she didn't do anything bad, but yet, like, it's like, but so the only thing in your eyes that's perceived as bad is like, killing someone, God forbid, or doing drugs or whatever it is. Like, this is bad too, because this is a conflict of interest. This involves people's personal and professional lives. The fact that people don't understand that shows exactly where we are as a society.
It's alarming,
but it's like
what Patrick said is interesting. Prove it affect the sport. Well, I'm sorry. What this is affecting the sport because you can deflate. I'll just give a good example. The AJ Brown thing. You can deflate his value, and the Patriots can get him for less.
And it's
a good example.
And I will say,
even the Kane thing. This is a good example of journalistic integrity. Nikki's talking about the Evander Kane situation. I can't speak on what I don't know. I don't know the full story. Why would I speak on it? That's journalistic integrity. I'm sorry. I'm just giving an example.
Like, but you know what it is too? It's like, so we can say, oh, prove it affected the sport, but it's going to affect the sport in some way, no matter how big or small, because just from this whole saga alone, this affects the way, like how sourcing is, like how people are going to trust you going forward.
Yeah.
How teams are going to interact with you. And most of all, if you're the Athletic in this case, how are they going to, when that's your senior NFL insider?
That's your number one insider. When you're the senior NFL insider, you're the number one insider. That's you.
Yep. This isn't like this is some low level reporter at the Athletic. What you mean? It would still be bad, but regardless, this is your
a beat reporter who literally only has it for the Pats.
For that team. But like, this is somebody who's supposed to cover the entire NFL. This is somebody who's been in the business for a long time, and this is also, so you are affecting your relationships and your standing with your company that you work for, with the sources that you canoodle with, and for the entire just sport as a whole. No one's going to trust you going forward now. So it does affect the sport. It's that it doesn't directly affect the sport right now, but it does affect the sport.
Right. But the last thing I'm going to say is, as a reporter, doesn't matter if you're an insider or not, you're going to have dinners with GMs.
Yeah.
You're going to meet with players in public settings. The example that I give is Justin Herbert goes fishing every summer. You don't think a reporter hasn't gone fishing with him? It happens. Because it's about being professional. And I've always said, I've told this to Desmond Trufant before. Verbatim, when we were at Wiffle Ball, Shane, my first time there, I told him, listen, I might not like everything you did in your career in terms. Look, he's a great player, but there are some games where he played bad. As a reporter, you say he played bad, but I respect the work that goes in to you playing on a Sunday because I can't flipping do it. So it's not personal, it's professional. I might not like Jerry Jones. We don't like Jerry Jones on this show and the way he's done things, but I respect the fact that he is one of the smartest owners in this league who understands the business of this league. Shane.
And he's worked his ass off.
He's worked his ass off.
There's a line you don't cross. That's basically what it is. And
Okay.
this looks bad. So
this looks bad. Shane, I would love your perspective. I'm sorry we took so long to get to you, but I would love your perspective, not just on the Rossini thing, but you really wanted to speak on the Rabel perspective, being in a locker room at any level.
Yeah.
You talk about high school level and stuff. We've seen this I'm not going to say who, but we've seen similar stuff, more intensive stuff happen at our local high school levels that we've been in as well, even more aggressive than this. That is a huge thing, even high school, college, or the pro level. And so your concern is on how it affects Rabel in the locker room. And I think it's really important because not enough people are talking about it. Please, I yield my time.
Yeah. With Rossini, I don't know how she keeps getting away with stuff.
Thank you.
By the way, I'm just going to tell you from the grapevine, we've known that something like this was happening for about a year and a half. We just couldn't prove it until now. I'm just being honest, but go ahead, Shane.
Yeah. And it's just, it drives me crazy that she just keeps staying plugged in. And, it's like, okay.
It's like Teflon, basically.
Yeah, and it's very, I don't know, I just laugh because it's, they're both like, there were tons of other people there. It's like,
who?
Well, where?
There was three people who said he was there with a woman. There were three people who said that. So unless the other four people were invisible, I don't know what's going on.
There was a woman. Who? It wasn't your wife.
And and it's like, okay, and if there are these people, why haven't they come forward to defend you?
Like,
another great point.
I
hadn't even.
I forgot about that. I was like thinking about that. Like,
Why wouldn't one of your spouses say, "Oh, I knew they were at the resort hanging out and talking about business"? Also, I'm sorry, Shane, but this is important. You know who took those photos? I know who took those photos. I know exactly who took them. It's not complicated. It's one of the spouse's private investigators, and they sold it.
Oh, yeah.
100%. There's no possible way it isn't true. And again, I have no fact to believe that, but there's
probably
no
her
way.
husband.
But that's
well,
overall
I was gonna say
right now.
One of y'all said, why wouldn't one of their spouses come forward to defend them? I mean, I don't know if I'd want to go forward and defend Deanna the way she spoke about me on the fucking television.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Fair, excellent point, Scoop. All right, continue, Shane.
But everybody with this whole thing has been talking about Diana, and understandably, I think this, because I do think this situation puts her in a slightly worse position than him, just because of the nature of her job having to be so much more objective, and just her position as like you guys were saying, a woman in a position like this, it's
power.
It's right, and it's gonna make it harder probably for other women now, So that's, and I get that, but it feels like nobody's talking about Vrabel's piece of it. But it's like, okay, I mean, he was also, and it's like, well, let's not forget he is also 50% of the equation here. It's and because I've I used to coach at one school, and that shall remain nameless. And there's
a journalistic intent. Don't speak on things you're not allowed to.
Journalistic integrity in Diana.
Yeah, and
yeah,
there were,
yeah. Scoop, thank you for saying that. Right now shows better in Diana Rossini. Thank you. Sorry, sorry,
that's
Scoop.
what I
wanted to say.
Sorry,
I didn't
Scoop.
want to
I have to adjust your mic volume a little bit just to keep the boys good here.
Yeah, my bad. I'm loud.
No. It's just your room is a ghost. So I need to be careful about the ghost.
Well, I have the fan.
And-
I have the air cranking because my fan's broken.
That's fine. That's fine. That's why I'm adjusting your volume. I just want to let people know that that's why Scoop might be a little
Yeah,
low at
thank
points.
you.
Anyway, continue.
but let's just say, without going into too much detail, that
By the
there
way,
were,
no, Patrick, not at all. You're not sounding
No,
like a
you're
grumpy old man.
fine.
You're sounding like
No.
sounding like someone who's trying to understand not only our position but the story, because this is exactly
just
what
trying to think
everyone's
about
doing.
it critically.
Yeah.
You're trying to
that's
think
fine.
about it critically, and this is what we're here for, to help you answer those questions that you may have. You're not acting grumpy. Anyway, Shane, please go.
But there were two coaches there who got, let's just say, were involved in some scandals. I'm not going to go into more detail on it, but eventually after that season, I left that place, and it totally affected the locker room. Like, the players totally lost respect for those guys, and and it just it was, and I mean, those are kids, like, so you think with Vrabel, I mean, he's always been
You think grown men are going to respect you after that if high schoolers won't?
right. Yeah, no. And so, like, look, and the Patriots already have kind of a spotty reputation for, whether it's right or wrong. I mean, the Belichick and Brady days are gone, obviously, but people still, harbor feelings. And so, yeah, it's like Vrabel has always been cited, and for good reason up until now, as being an example of positive masculinity, right? Because he's a calm authority. He's definitely in charge, but he doesn't have to like yell and be a dick about it, and he holds himself and everyone else accountable. And he's tough, but he's still in tune with emotions, and so when players now see that he is getting with a reporter who, not just like you guys were saying, not just a team reporter, but a league-wide insider, while he is married and has a family, it's like, I mean, yeah, players obviously are going to notice this because, they're on their phones all the time and they're talking and whatever, and they see what's going on. And so for a coach that preaches like him, who preaches accountability and discipline and, hey, do things the right way, it's just such a level of hypocrisy that comes here, because now how's he going to stand in front of a room and preach these standards when guys know that you yourself aren't exactly following them, and when you're now not following that, like I said, that positive masculinity image you've created for yourself.
Because now your character is called into question.
Yeah. And it just becomes a distraction, even if nobody says it out loud. Like, there's going to be side conversations about it and jokes about it. It's like, I mean, in all my year, I say all my years like I'm 60. Between my, just with my experience as a player and as a coach, it's like anything you can, in any sport, especially football, anything you can find for a player or a coach to make fun of them with, you do it. Like it's just because it's just
It's a way to build how I view it, because I see it on
Yeah.
your sideline. Is it's a way to kind of build camaraderie. You know,
Yeah,
even I come down, like our walkway, like by the sideline, and players like, "Hey, it's Robert's brother," or no, it's Shane's brother. It's his little,
Yeah.
it's his little son. And they hit me, and they're like, you know what I mean? But it's jokey. It's supposed to, you know what I mean?
Well,
yeah,
It's funny, and I think it's funny too. I think it's hilarious.
Like, you know what I think about? Speaking of losing the locker room, because we're talking about that at a high school level and at a pro level. Look at what just happened at Michigan like 4 months ago with Sharon Moore.
Oh, good call. Good call.
Like that. Like, look at how bad he screwed up. Like, and now he's gone. But that whole program has a black stain on it. So now with the Patriots with Vrabel, now this it's we don't know everything, but this just looks bad. So it's like everybody involved here is in the wrong in some way, shape, or form. The Athletic, he is, like it's all
the
of
Patriots,
this.
I think.
Bad. Yeah, like this is bad across the board. Like it's and it's like and now and hell, even ESPN, because they're association to her and to the Athletic by
proxy,
by that
proxy.
Yeah, by proxy, that looks bad. So I mean, well, ESPN can't do any more damage to their credibility than they've already done the last 15 years because they're garbage now. But it's like it's all of it across the board from every single conceivable. Like, there's no way you can defend any of it because it looks so bad.
The last thing I'll say is the NFL, and we're not going to have time to talk about the FCC regulations today. I'm currently trying to figure out how to write an article on that. The FCC regulations is kind of a more less important, considering the magnitude of the story, example of the NFL does things last minute. If the investigation shows something, you don't think the commissioner's office is going to call New England and go, hey, call the Athletic and go, hey? It's going to take them a few months.
Yeah.
But the commissioner's office is going to have to get involved in some way, shape, or form. And it's going to take them a while because the NFL lets things play out as any major corporation should. But the NFL is going to have something to say about this sooner rather than later. You don't think they're not talking about it in the league offices in New York? Oh yeah, they're talking about it.
And they're just
Brandon, you live about, I would say, an hour from the league office. You don't think they're talking about it in that building an hour from you? They definitely are. There's no way they're not.
And like the thing is that and even if they find no wrongdoing, which would be hard to believe, even if they do, because we can basically, we're not saying that it is, but based off everything that we've seen, that was a private investigator taking those photos. There's already suspicion there, and enough for it to go that far. So it's like that in itself, is a red. Like, all of this is a red flag. Everything that's popping up here is a red flag for something not to have happened here. So it's just like it would be a miracle. Like, and the crazy thing is, like, this kind of being like the OJ case. Like, oh, we know he did it, but somehow he got off with it. Like, it's like, which could very well be a thing. It's like, oh, but so I'm like, to me, even if nothing comes out of this, like I said before, it just looks, there's gonna be a stain left here forever that won't come out. So it's like I value, my former major. I value what I went to school for. I wanted to be in this business. And listen, I don't always speak politically correct. I understand that. But to me, I call it like it is. Like to borrow a phrase that a lot of people say, but for us in Jersey, we're not politically correct. But we always say, like, if it looks like shit and smells like shit, it's shit. So like
you really didn't go with looks like a duck as an Oregon fan.
No, because it's like, I like the thing is I have to be strong about that language because it makes my blood boil when when I see bad journalism and unethical journalism get thrown right in my face, like especially with this having ties to my football team in a way. So it's like it pisses me off to no end. This whole saga, like I just want it to end, and I want I want some sort of justice done here, something, because I'm tired of people in this business. This go back because we've not just talked about her, but other reporters in the past that we've mentioned on this show and things and problems with ESPN and whatnot. Like, I'm tired of the abuses of power in this industry that just get worse as the time goes on.
Right.
So it's not right. It's not right, and I wish people would come to their senses.
The last thing I'll say about this is I have, as a human in this business, I have very much acknowledged the fact that in my teens and in my 20s, I'm about to turn 26 in a day. Please don't wish me happy birthday. This is not the spot to do it. Please don't do it. Not right now.
Scoop was gonna. I could see it coming.
Please don't do it. Please don't do it. I have made thousands of mistakes with stuff. Thousands. Even just in personal and in this business. Because I'm 26 years old. I'm a kid. I don't know better unless I experience how to be better.
In the eyes of the business, we're considered kids still.
Exactly. Guess what? Diana Rossini and Mike Rabel is 40, 50 years old. I'm sorry. You know what? By the time I'm 30, if I made the same mistakes I made when I was 21, 22, 23, all the way up to about, I would say 28, 29, I'm about to get to here in a few years. If I made those same mistakes at 40, then I'm an asshole. Then I'm an idiot. Then I'm a jerk.
Yeah.
Because I'm a kid. I had to learn how to be smarter through experience and understanding. And I still am going to make similar mistakes, not to the extent, but make similar or, learn, because I'm 26 years old. I ain't flipping 40. By the time I'm 40, and if I make this mistake at 40, I should not be in this business. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Just flat out. I'm still a kid in this business. Just flat out. That's what I'm saying.
That's what makes me angry. It's like there's plenty of women in this business who've conducted themselves the right way for years. One of my inspirations growing up on ESPN, we all know this, was Linda Cohn. She was a trailblazer in this business. You've got ones like Susie Colbert for football. Speaking of football, you got her. They're Melissa Stark. There's so many, Tracy Wolfson. There's so many people and women in this business that do it the right way, that when I see people like Diana Rossini acting like a teenage schoolgirl at 40-something years old, please get the hell out of this business.
I'm sorry, acting how I would act at 22 years old, or how I did act at like 22 to 24, 20, like even now, 25. Yeah, nah. Trevor said, "What's up, boys? All is well." Patrick giving me the Masters update. I have it on. Rory just started his round, and he's down a stroke. So Rory's at 11 or 11 under par. Patrick Reed's at 8 under par. Again, still very early in the round for both of them. So we'll keep you updated as long as we go. Anything else before we go?
I think the moral of the story ultimately is, don't cheat on your spouse, because
that's idiotic.
First of all, it's awful. And second of all, you will get caught. I mean, it's just there's everybody. There are people everywhere, cameras everywhere.
Why am I so big?
I know, I'm fixing it. Relax. It's always you.
What were you implicating me on?
No, I'm not implicating you. I'm not trying to implicate you. I'm trying to set up our next segment for Shane. All right. Continue, Shane.
But I mean, that's it. Just, you're gonna get, especially if you're a celebrity, like you're gonna get caught.
Yeah,
okay?
like you gotta understand, you gotta have a certain like a level of awareness, which a lot of celebrities don't because they live in their own bubble in their heads. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
But yeah,
Yeah.
but mostly because it's just a shitty thing to do. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, many countries it's illegal. So I'm just saying.
Or worse, it's punishable by death in some countries. Jeez.
True.
Yeah. Facts. Yeah, I figured this was gonna take 40 minutes to an hour, and this is what I planned for. Now we're gonna do something a lot more fun and actually give football some good graces. Thank God. For the next hour or so. Shane's whiteboard number 3. You know what? I go into the week every week and I'm like, I know what the picture's gonna be. I know what everything's gonna be. I'm gonna give Shane space. All right, FAH presents Shane's whiteboard, and then this happens, and it throws my entire plans into a wrench on how to promote the show because of thank you, Diana Rossini, for ruining our promotion this week. But Shane, number 3 of the whiteboard. The floor is yours. I've said this a lot this week. I'm trying to be professional. This is a professional show.
All right.
But yeah, Shane, teach us some good stuff about football, please. Give us something to enjoy football with.
I'd be happy to. Today we were talking about defense.
Defense.
And as you guys know, I love defense. My main position when I played was strong safety. So I love both sides of the ball on the whiteboard, but I have a thing for defense because it's like, I feel like people always look at it and just go like, oh yeah, you're just reacting to offense, but
It wins championships.
in my opinion, defense yes, but in my opinion, defense is, from a mental X's and O's standpoint, is actually more complicated than offense. More involved, at least good defenses are. So, we've been thinking like an offense. Today, we flip it. So offense, we talked about how you're trying to create space, attack leverage, that sort of thing. Defense is you're trying to erase that. You're not trying to give them anything. And so offense, you kind of like, you want to force the defense to be wrong almost. But defense, you're trying to almost make the offense guess wrong. And let's go into that. So if we have a base defense, all right, let's just do our typical nickel package that we see a lot in the pros these days. You have 4 linemen, 2 linebackers, and then 5 DBs. So the linebackers, that's the front. And then the 5 DBs, that's your coverage, right? So defense, every decision is a trade-off, right? So if I add more guys in the front, I'll have an easier time stopping the run, but I'll have less guys in coverage, so I'm more vulnerable in the pass, and vice versa, right? So the most important thing to consider is you can't stop everything in any look, all right? Because you have an odd number, so you just are inherently at a bit of a disadvantage. So we're not just going to, I don't want to just talk about coverages because that's only DBs really, want to learn what everybody's role is, but also like what defenses are trying to do with each set of coverage or whatever, So first of all, we'll start with coverages though, just to get the basics. So
also whiteboard thing as Shane pops it up. Shane is in a corner of his room. And so we tried to figure out every way to like make it so that it could be propped up. Shane is in such a tight corner to make this work in terms of just, you know, making it work and making it look all nice, that we can't make any adjustments to it. We have been talking about this for about 2 weeks. It's not working.
It ain't happening.
It can't work, sadly. We're trying, but
all right. So let's just do let's see. Let's do where's my note? Here we go. All right, let's do well, first we got to set up our offense. So we have the center. Let's see. We'll just do our base set here. Okay. So now, oops. So if we're in a nickel, we're going to have Sam, tackle, nose, end. What is that, Brandon?
Ear, nose, and throat specialist. I love that.
yes.
Then we've got
Such an easy way to remember it too. Like I don't know why no one's thought of that before.
I'm sure someone has. It's just
Probably.
not commonplace.
I've never heard of it though, but doesn't mean it hasn't happened.
I trust you.
Thank you.
Unlike
have
Diana
my-
Rossini's reporting. Burn!
Yeah.
Burn! Woo!
All right. So here's our 11. There we go. So let's start with, there's 4 main types of coverages. Do we know what they are? This is very easy.
If you play
Robert.
Madden, you know. Actually, I'll yield it to Scoop. Scoop, please go. Let me pull you up really quick. There you go. Yes, Scoop, please go.
I don't know what that means. Pull me up. I'm a little concerned, but
No. Your volume is down to you know, your fan. So.
oh, okay.
Manage
I'm
your
Italian.
volume.
I'll just speak up. So, you said 4 different types of coverages, right?
Yeah, 4 main
That's
types.
what yeah. So we got man, zone.
Oh, no. Even more
that's not what you're
bare
asking
bones
me?
than that.
That's not what you're asking me.
Robert.
Cover 4, cover 3, man coverage. Cover 4, cover 3, cover 2, cover 1.
Yeah, that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah,
What?
I was gonna say.
I was gonna say man coverage
because there is like cover 6, I've seen cover 9. Like I've
Cover
seen
Yeah.
9.
I've seen cover 0.
But isn't cover 9 like a variation of cover 3 and cover 4 kind of mashed together a little bit?
Basically. But that's so uncommon. We're not going to get into it.
Yeah.
And it's
that's
dumb.
what I was running last night on Madden, and they couldn't do anything against it.
Yo,
If you brag
cover
about
9,
if you brag about beating the computer one more damn time,
Well, I know. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
man.
I was
Really quick.
I was testing different coverages. That's why.
But the cover 9 does the way it works in Madden is not how it works in real life.
Oh yeah, but
at
I don't
all.
care. It's
No.
Madden. No, yeah, I don't
It's-
care. It's Madden. Let me
A lot
dominate
of things in Madden don't work the way they work in real life.
like the offensive lines.
Yes.
Yeah. So, when it comes to a DB's actual technique, there is man and zone,
Mhm.
which you were getting at, Scoop. So a lot of times, okay, for instance, who can tell me what cover 1 is?
One linebacker and one safety, primarily in a zone scheme. So a hook zone and a deep zone, technically, and everyone else is in man.
Yeah. So technically, it's cover 1 is just 1 DB in zone coverage.
Yeah.
And then there can be a linebacker.
You can have your
drop back.
linebacker. You can have your
too.
linebacker in zone, can't you too? Like your linebacker
Yeah.
drops back.
Yeah, because cover 1 robber as it Who's touching buttons? Who is touching buttons?
Wasn't me.
Who?
Here's my 2 hands.
Who's touching buttons? Anybody? What happened?
I don't know.
I think
We're being
okay.
hacked.
So I think we're either being hacked or Restream literally just did that on its own for some reason. Because I wasn't
It's done
touching
it
anything.
before.
Has it?
Like
That is one of the creepiest things I've ever. Wait, you know who did it? I know who did it. It's Scoop's room ghost. Touch this
room
ghost.
ghost.
Because I'm
There's not someone
currently
else in here, is
managing.
there?
No.
All
Scoop,
right,
because as we're doing this, I'm managing Scoop's room ghost volume, and so I think his room ghost got involved because now I've lost the ability to change Scoop's volume. Now I finally, Scoop, your room ghost.
Oh my
The
god!
thing, your room ghost. Anyway,
I don't know.
Anyways,
I was like, who touched any buttons? No. Scoop, you act. I am a firm believer now because of that Scoop has a ghost in his room. You need to find who that is. Is that Mike Rabel as a ghost? Like, what is happening?
You need to call Ghostbusters, my guy.
You need to call Ghostbusters, man. Okay. Scoop, can you say something for me? Because now I want to test your volume. I'm so concerned.
Yeah. What's
Okay, good. Yes, you're good. Okay, I think your
right,
ghost,
cool.
I'm in ghost protocol mode right now. Okay, all right, Shane, please continue.
All right, so as you can see here, let's see. So cover 1, cover 1's when you're gonna have 1 DB playing zone. So for those who don't know, difference between man and zone coverage. Man, you're guarding a man, hence the name, and then zone coverage, you're guarding a zone, right? Easy enough. So cover 1, you're going to have 1 DB, usually the free safety, deep, and then everyone else, they're going to be man on, okay? So this is basically you are going to want to do this if you're expecting a run or some sort of a quick passing game. So you'll see cover 1 a lot on like short yardage situations. And so what this does give up, however, is like streaks or go routes, and like speed mismatches, because if these corners are tight on their receivers, I mean, it'd be pretty easy for them to get past them. And I mean, there's all this open space up here, or over here, right? So essentially, this is good against quick pass game or run game. And then it's bad against deep plays, especially on the outside. Scoop.
Question. So you said this is typically used for run or quick pass. However, so the question where I have the question is that from one of the earlier, either episode 1 or 2, you talked about how typically if there's less than 7 in the box, it's a good running defense. So doesn't that contradict itself?
No, because
a bad running defense. Excuse me.
No, I got you. Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying.
Is that because the extra blocker? Is that why it's different?
Well, yeah, because the difference is if you're a lot of times a team will, if you're not sure, like, okay, let's say it's 2nd and 3rd, All right. So, you could be expecting a run or maybe a short pass, right? But then they come out in this set. So now you're just going to basically what you want to do is, as a defense, you're going to try to keep as balanced of a look as possible. So that way you can kind of prepare for either one. So that's where like rover safety becomes really important, because if they, you're looking at the tackles, right? And if they start dropping back like it's pass, then okay, you're going to go to your guy, whoever you're man up on, right?
Okay.
But if you see the tackles coming forward, then that's when you're going to try to see where the hole is and then crash down there along with the bike.
Okay.
And, yeah. So, and we saw that a lot with Kyle Hamilton is great at that. Just as one example. So that's cover one. Are there any questions on that? No? All right, cool. Excellent. Then we have cover two. So it's these front 9 are all going to stay relatively the same, except the difference now is oops, I'm an idiot. There we go. Both safeties are now covering deep zones, right? So instead of getting over the middle, you're going to be going over this way and over there. And so this leaves you're kind of trying to project the outside with cover two. And this is why basically everybody last year was constantly in cover two against Philly, because they never threw to the middle of the field. So
it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. So the basic idea of cover two is to keep everything in this area. Okay, right in the middle. Because that's what you're giving up, right? So defense is basically saying you can have short yards, but you can't be as deep, right? And this is what what's their names? Not Houston. I'm blanking. Sorry. San Francisco. This is what they did a lot this year, because they have some pretty athletic linebackers. And so they would basically invite teams to try and go in here, but whether it was Fred Warner or Eric Kendricks or whoever, it's like, no luck. Robert.
My question is that piece that you just alluded to. The linebackers, if they make one mistake in this set, you're messed up, basically, right? You're relying on your linebackers to be smart, efficient, and make quick decisions. Because
for the most part.
Yeah. Okay, I just want to double check about that.
Yeah, and especially like and like Tampa 2 is a common look you'll see with cover 2. Basically what that is so the safeties split out, and then the Mike linebacker is going to kind of get this not deep third, but like the middle third right in there. And so a lot of times that will sort of take away the middle of the field there. Now that all depends on how athletic your linebacker is. So if you have Fred Warner, you're in good shape. But if you have, I don't know, Bobby Wagner, I love you, Bobby, but these days terrible in pass coverage. You're going to have probably some better luck. you know. So far, cover one, you're looking to the deep outside. Cover two, kind of, middle, not really deep, not really shallow, just right in there.
The ghost.
What's
The
happening?
ghost. The ghost. Or was that somebody? Did somebody do that, or is that a ghost thing? Did somebody do that, or is that Scoop's ghost? The
It was
ghost.
Pringles.
The ghost. Ghost Pringles. The
It was
ghost.
Pringles for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know how to do that. My hands are away from the keyboard anyway. So
Yeah, my hands are away from the keyboard too. I'm just managing I'm managing my mic volume because my parents are vacuuming, so I don't want to disturb the peace here. Anyway, continue, Shane. The ghost is making
So
us slow down by 2 seconds.
shame on them. All right. So now cover 3. This was popularized in the early 2010s. Essentially, what we have in cover 3 is the outside corners and the free safety all playing a deep third. And then Rover can kind of, be man up on somebody or play down in here, whatever. So the goal with this is to obviously protect the deep, the outside, the deep middle, that kind of thing. However, where this is vulnerable is against underneath routes, like slants, seams, flats, stuff like that. And so this is
digs as well, correct? Like dig routes as well for this.
Yeah. I mean, if it's not a deep dig, if it's like a 5-yard dig, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Dig.
Yeah. Another great one would be like what are they called? Comeback routes. Love comeback routes. But yeah, but if so, this is a great defense to run on, like, second or third and long, right? Because you're expecting a bigger play, and let's say on second and 14 you give up 7 yards to an underneath route. Okay, now it's 3rd and 7. We're still in pretty good shape. You know what I mean? And a lot, Robert.
Yes. So in Madden, this is a Madden based question. In Madden, I run a cover 3 base playbook. So cover 3 most of the time.
That's a mistake.
I know.
Oh yeah.
I don't. By the way,
I was gonna say
it's
no
a
wonder I just throw you over the middle.
It's a cover 3 base, but I run like cover 4 a lot, cover 2 a lot with the cover 3 base system. The cover 3 is just a baseline. It's not what I brought. The thing that happens to me when I run cover 3, if the Y, we were looking at the Y receiver specifically in this look, the Y receiver will go up down the seam here, go towards Rover, and Rover will never attach to him. And I get beat over the seam. Does that happen in real life, or does the Rover always know instinctively go there? Is that what's supposed to happen?
Yeah, seams in cover 3, seams are the one sort of deep route that works, because they attack this empty space right here.
But isn't the free safety and the Rover safety supposed to shift over and cover that though?
Well, they're supposed to, but if, let's say, X is running a deep post, okay, so he's going to come up here and do that. So now free safety is looking up here and then misses this underneath.
Oh, because that corner that's on the X at the line of scrimmage originally might be looking at a halfback on a flat route or something instead of looking at that deep route, correct? Or like,
Yeah,
where's
well,
that?
I'm just looking. Well, he's looking in this deep third right here because he's in zone, not man.
Oh, okay. So they're not
Or
you're not like
on the
switching on the fly because you never know.
or you can go on the other side, couldn't you, and say like, hey, like if the boundary corner gets beat by Z, he's gonna go try to cover him over the top.
Yeah,
Just leave it wide open.
True. Okay. I just wanted to
Right.
confirm because every time I play Madden, I get pissed off because I'm like, yo, aren't you supposed to cover that? Isn't that the point? Is to cover a deep route? But I guess I see why it
Right.
isn't the seams. I see why it's focused on the boundary. That makes sense. Okay. Thank you for
Well,
the clarification.
and Robert, have you noticed that the last few times I've played you in Madden, I've scored several touchdowns on you throwing a seam.
Yes. And that's why I moved away for cover. That's why I use a cover 3 base now, and I don't run cover 3 out of it all the time.
And also traditionally, doesn't your linebacker cover the tight end? So
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
that's also where we throw it off sometimes too.
Yeah.
Makes
Well,
sense.
Robert, now you know.
Yes. Yeah.
Game plan.
Because
It
the
pissed
one
me
thing
off.
Robert says is no, but the one thing Robert always says when he plays me is I get stressed because Shane knows things that I don't. Well, that's one thing that now you know too.
Well, here's what pisses me off about it, because I always thought cover 3, and this is me not understanding this aspect of football until like recently, is I was like, why does that make any sense? Because I want my safeties to then just shift. Well, it makes sense because they're focused on another route that I would get beat for a touchdown if they went to the seam, if that makes sense. Versus
Now this, yeah. Now this is where cover 4.
Yeah, that's why I run cover. That's why I run cover 4 out of that instead to deal with that concern.
Because I have a lot of things to erase this time.
And by the way, I will quickly mention, for you Madden players out there, a cover 4 base system, particularly Nikki's gonna love this. The Cowboys 4-3 cover 4 playbook is an excellent baseline. It's stupid, but it is an excellent beginner to intermediate Madden baseline because it's a cover 3 playbook that you can run cover 4 and you can run 4-4 out of it. So you can run the Miami or the Minnesota Vikings 4-4 while also running a cover 4 or a cover 2. It's a really beginner or lackadaisical, not as much pre-snap movement playbook. I'm just going to put it that way. But it makes you a pretty bad Madden player. And
I was gonna say no wonder the defense in real life for the Cowboys sucks.
Yeah, that's why. So you can use it if you're not like initiated or quick on the sticks. Like I'm not quick on the sticks, but then you need to figure it out and use it properly, or else you're gonna get smacked like the Cowboys do in real life. Just gonna say that. All right, please continue, Shane.
And so then we have cover 4, which these circles should be a little bit bigger, but you get the point. So basically, this is, cover 4 is like, okay, nothing is going to go over our heads, right? Because they have the entire deep part of the field covered. So this is great against deep passing, even more so than cover 3 because you're not vulnerable to seams or anything like that. But against run game, this isn't great because now you really only have 6 people in the box. And underneath stuff also, obviously, you're vulnerable to that. So, but then there's, then there are different types of cover 4, cover 3, whatever. So the most variety we have is definitely in cover 4. And really it starts with the outside corners because they typically in cover 1 or cover 2, they're going to start. It's called pressed, which is when they're right up tight on the guy. But a lot of times, a good indicator of cover 3 or 4, they will instead start, 5-10 yards off, like up here. So that way they can just get a nice little head start on their receiver. Let me see. Oops. And that's why, sorry guys again to mention this, but in that in that game losing play for Philly in the playoffs, that's why running 4 verticals, which let me show you what that looks like.
Well, you don't have to show me. I know what it looked like.
Well, yeah, but it's basically everybody just running goes.
Yeah, no, but
It didn't.
wait,
it didn't work.
Can you really quickly, just for the uninitiated viewer, which I know there might not be many, just draw it up and show why it sucks? Just do it, please. Thank you.
And you know what the worst part about that game was? San Fran ran that pretty much the entire game. They didn't change.
They didn't change it at all.
Yeah,
I'm going to take a screenshot of this and show it to my therapist.
We almost killed Dallas Goedert on that play. I was about to say God rest his soul because of where that was going.
So this is the play that. So San Francisco, their DBs were deep. It was clearly going to be cover 4 because cover 4 is all they were running all night long. And this, they needed, was it 10 yards, 9 yards, 10?
10. It was 10. Yeah, it was exactly.
And
like 10,
something like that.
This is the play Kevin Petula decides to run. All right, cool.
Everyone's covered.
Yeah. When you're in cover 4, you only want 4 receiving targets going out. You don't want your most athletic skill guy, Saquon Barkley, going out and
he was blocking the entire time for some stupid reason.
No, there's no point in that.
Mind you, we had 6 guys in the offensive. We had 6 guys in the offensive huddle designing that or calling that last play. Like we had Sirianni, Petullo, Tanner McKee, Jalen Hurts, Scott Loeffler. I think there was like another one that was.
What's the best part of that moment? You could see Jalen Hurts going, "What?"
He looked at
what?
Yeah.
Even Tanner McKee,
They looked at each other.
You could see his face. He was like,
I can't remember who it was. It was either Coach Sirianni or Scott Loeffler, and he basically, I think it was Coach Sirianni, and he basically just like, that's what he called.
I don't know. Whatever. Okay.
They just wanted the season to be over. When you look at Jalen's face, it's like, yeah, we're just gonna run it. Whatever. I don't care. I'm done with this season.
So like this look is called quarters, right? When everybody's playing a deep, because everybody's covering a deep quarter of the field, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're in cover 4 and the outside corners are starting on the guy, that is called palms. Okay. I don't know why. It just is.
Makes you think why palm trees?
Because you could have their palms on the guy. I have no idea.
I would assume that probably would be the case. Yes.
No, I wasn't even raising my hand. I was like, this because like if you're on the guy, you're pressing him. Palms.
Yeah. Could be.
Exactly.
We'll go with it. So those are like the 2 main varieties there. Let's see. So basically, every defense takes something away from the offense and gives something out, right? So if you understand what they're taking away, then you know where to attack. So let's look at run defense for a second, because
Lord knows I need this.
and
Because that's my entire playbook is just run the ball. That's why I'm.
No,
I'm
it's because I've
I'm
given
an
up the
awful
most
Madden player.
freaking. Well, it's because I've given up the most rushing yards in history this season, and it pisses me off.
You basically gave
because
Rob the rushing title.
I decided you pissed me off so much on the first drive that I was like, I'm about to murder this guy, and I hit 350 yards.
Yeah, like I looked at that line.
Because, and here's why, Scoop. Because I play Madden. If I played Madden, this has happened to me multiple times. I piss people off when I play Madden. Because,
Yeah, you do.
Because here's why. Because I run the ball all the time. And running the ball is kind of a cheat code if you know what you're doing. If you know how to shift and stuff. And so when someone else does that to me and you did that on the first drive, I was like, I am so angry at you that I'm about to. It's because I play like an idiot because I know people will get mad at me. But when people do it to me, then yeah, I'm that's why I scored 63 on you. I was like, I'm so upset at that first drive.
Like
but I'm not gonna let you live it. I'm gonna let you suffer.
The key to beating you, I've realized the key to beating you is not adjusting to you, which sounds crazy. It's waiting till you make a mistake. It's keeping you in check until you make a mistake.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's Madden for most cases. That's football for most cases. And from there we go to Shane, because that's really what it is. If you make a mistake, it affects you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no shit.
So
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, the basic idea ultimately, like, right, if you stopping the run, if that's your goal, you add more defenders to the box. If you want to stop, the problem though is, of course, then you have less help deep for passing, and then vice versa.
That's why
right?
we talked about. Excuse me. This is why we talk about play action being so effective, because if you keep running, play action, you're gonna get smacked.
Yeah. And so there's always that trade-off. It's like, okay, we can attack this, but then we're vulnerable to this, et cetera, et cetera. So this is where blitzing comes into the equation, because blitzing, if you don't know, is when you send extra rushers to the quarterback aside from just the main D lineman.
There is no way that just happened.
What'd you do?
What?
Murakami just eagled from like 150 yards away and got it in the hole.
Wow.
I knew this was going to happen at some point, but...
You first said Murakami. I thought you meant the White Sox player.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Or Murakama. Well, I forgot his last name. He got a 3 on par 5, basically. Which I don't. Is that an eagle or is that a birdie?
That's an eagle. Birdie's 1 under par.
Yeah, he got a birdie from like 150 yards away. I knew this was going to happen at some point. Oh my god. Okay, continue. That was insanity.
We are a football show. We are not golfing.
I'm golf.
Although I wouldn't mind.
It's the Masters. Please continue.
So blitzing is one way you can shake things up, because you're forcing the quarterback to work quick, which then leads to the quarterback doing what?
Throwing a mistake, turning it over,
making mistakes. Yep, which is the name of the game. And that's why defensive coaches always hate having quarterbacks who throw a lot of interceptions, because that's their whole mindset is we need to force the offense to make a mistake. So then when they see their own offense making a mistake, they're like, oh God, whereas offensive minded coaches are more so like, it's all right. It happens. We'll just get it back the next time.
Can I add to this?
Yeah.
Am I okay? I think the reason why defensive coaches feel this way, and you're a defensive coach, you'll have better thought processes than me on this. When an offense throws an interception, especially a lot of interceptions, a good chunk of them, let's say 4 or 5, Nathan Peterman style. Sorry, Nathan.
Oh, God.
it pisses you off because your defense doesn't get time to rest and more vulnerable to mistakes. Is that accurate?
I mean, that's part of it too. Yeah.
We saw that happen this year.
Yeah, but it's for offensive coaches. It's, at least in my experience, like the mindset is always, okay, let's create this beautiful picture of what the game's going to be, and whereas defense is more like, we need to control the game. It's
Don't
just
make a big mistake, basically.
Yeah, and it's two very different mindsets. Neither one's wrong. It's just they're just different views of the game.
Yeah.
But so blitzing is a great tool to. I need to put my other DBs in here, don't I? Boundary corner. Safety. Safety. Okay. So, when you look at this, you might think, okay, well, this is like you might look at this and think, oh, okay, cover 2, maybe, just man, and then bam,
Dash.
he comes rushing around. Now you're like, oh crap, that's another guy in an area where we weren't accounting for him, right? So this is great because it puts more pressure on the quarterback, but then it leaves this area vulnerable, possibly, unless someone else covers it.
And that's where the running back will run through that hole if the offensive line does the job. They're supposed to.
Yeah, if they're running the ball, yeah. But a good defense, if they recognize that it's a run, free safety or maybe rover will crash down right there.
That's what I was gonna ask, is if that were the case, where they left that vulnerable, couldn't the free safety just jump down and cover that himself?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that was something that I saw happen quite a few times with the Rams this year. The weak side linebacker, I forget his name, but he would blitz and then kind of leave a run lane, but then Bynum would be there, kind of in the middle. So it was like, okay, it worked anyways. But blitzes are a lot easier to do if you have fast defenders who can cover more ground. This is why a lot of, like, for instance, when Seattle ran that cat blitz in the Super Bowl like 6 times, the reason it worked every time is because you have Witherspoon coming in from the nickel, run, and cat blitz is when the nickel corner blitzes, by the way. And then dog blitz is when the rover blitzes. Fun fact.
That's funny.
Interesting.
I don't know why they're called that, but they just are. So, and
also it's also worse when you have Will Campbell blocking.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. That doesn't help your situation. So that's a terrible S. That's slightly better. Anyways, not important. So the reason that it worked is because you had all these guys coming down, and so you might think, oh, well, he's vulnerable now. But then Will linebacker was just coming over in man, right? And then you had Ernest Jones patrolling this middle, so there was really nowhere to go. And by the time a route developed like on the outside, Drake May was already on the ground. So that's the thing with blitzing is you can't just leave big chunks of the field open in case somehow you have a quarterback who is, turns into Superman and evades the blitz. But if you're going against a weak offensive line, you don't really have to worry about it that much. This is why Mahomes, Purdy, they're the first two examples that come to mind. Great players, obviously, but this is their weakness because they have weak offensive lines, other than Trent Williams and Creed Humphrey, basically. So yeah. And the other thing you can look at to change up a look is disguises, which we've talked a lot about. But a disguise basically is, when defense comes out looking like this. So, we were talking about if there's two deep safeties, two corners pressed, probably going to be cover 2 man, maybe cover 4. But then turns out, oh no, they're in cover 3. And this happens post snap. So the offense is having to adjust on the fly. And that's, especially for a young quarterback, that can create a lot of confusion and lead to mistakes.
Drake May in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and that's why it's no coincidence that the one quarterback who was successful against Seattle's defense this year was Matthew Stafford, who is a 17-year or whatever NFL veteran.
Yeah.
Future
because
Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
Yep.
because is he physically the best quarterback in the game? Hell no.
No.
Does he have the strongest arm? Not even close.
Not
But-
anymore.
Well, he used to, maybe.
He used to, yeah.
But
Yeah,
today,
for sure.
no. But the reason he beat them, the reason he, put up 300-400 yards on them twice is because he knew, okay, if they're showing this look, that doesn't mean that they're going to be in cover 2. And so if let's say they're in cover 3, I need to adjust, and he's going to be my read. And, he just thought about it so much.
Yeah.
Right. Which younger guys haven't necessarily seen that. So they don't as much.
Yay.
Hopefully Restream doesn't bug out because it's getting choppy.
It just did that. I was confused why people went silent for like 20 seconds.
We went silent because we were trying to figure out what's going on, but it just chopped up a little.
All right,
bit.
so
we're good.
So last week I put up a defensive formation personnel, and I told you guys to be the offense. Today we're doing the opposite. I'm going to be the offense, and I'm going to give you a situation, down and distance, whatever, and you guys are going to tell me what defense you want to run, what personnel, what kind of coverage, if you want to do a blitz, if you want to do a disguise, etc., etc. Okay.
It's a lot more complicated than offense because there's so many interconnected pieces, and you're showcasing that today.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. We're going to start. Hold on, let me get the black marker. We're going to start 1st and 10. Seems like a good starting point. We're going to be in... Yeah. Let me cook.
He's planning. Let me cook.
Yeah. So we're gonna be in, I am going to be in tray right, open or closed. Sorry, tray right closed. 1st and 10. What are you guys gonna do?
Why
Talk
is it
amongst
tray
yourselves.
right again?
Tray right. So we got
We have
3
three
receivers on
right
the
three
right.
receivers.
and the
Okay.
halfback.
Just
What-
want
and
to
why
make
is it-
sure that I'm.
Yeah, Y is attached, so it's tray. If Y is in the middle, it's trio. And then closed because H is on the same side as
Yeah.
Y. So you guys decide, do you want to be in 4-3, 3-4, nickel, dime?
That's okay. I know
Whatever you think.
exactly. I know exactly what I'm running here. I'm running a cover 2, either soft shell or hard shell. So cover 2 hard flat or cover 2 soft shell. Essentially, essentially what I'm doing here is in cover 2 is I'm protecting the flat zones because I'm worried about the halfback pulling or the Z pulling to that side. And then cover 2 with athletic linebackers, I'm able to kind of move around and get to the X situation, get to an F situation, get the Y up the seam. I'm trusting my linebackers to make decisions. Is that correct?
What do you guys think?
Shane,
Would
I
you
have a
do
couple
that?
questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
What yard line am I on?
We'll call it the 30.
My 30 or
Wait,
theirs?
30.
The
Theirs, because
They're 30.
They're 30. Because
so like
if you
the
want to
so like the drive just started after a kickoff, basically.
Drive just
Yes.
started after. Okay.
Yeah,
Who do I have
touchback
at
or
quarter?
whatever.
Who do I have at quarterback and halfback?
oh my God, Scoop.
Doesn't
We're not
matter.
doing who they have at quarterback. We're not doing that. We're doing
Okay.
base level.
It's just
stuff.
universal.
Who do you have at quarterback
Sorry,
doesn't
sorry,
matter. We're
sorry,
talking universal.
sorry.
Yes,
Sorry.
who you have at quarterback changes it, but we're not
Yeah.
focused on that.
Okay,
You have-
sorry.
Oh my God, Scoop. We're
Just
doing
think of
universal
just
stuff.
think of average on average.
Okay.
basically.
Average on average. 50 overall versus 50 overall. There you go.
Okay.
Still
You have
doing cover.
you have Tyson Bagent and JD McKissick.
Yes.
Right. Anything works. I don't care what the hell it is. Anything works in that situation.
Bagent's better than you would think. Okay.
See,
Am
Okay.
I being an idiot running cover 2? You guys tell me.
So what personnel do you want? Do you want 4-3? Do you want nickel? What do you think? Dime.
I mean, because
How many
I'd be in
linemen
a
do you want?
4-3 here probably because I want 4
that's what
linemen.
I was thinking. Yeah.
I
You
want
want
4
four
linemen in
linemen?
a cover 2 look.
How many linebackers?
Or not 4 linemen. I want 3 linemen, 4 linebackers. My bad. I want 4
Okay,
linebackers.
and then only 4 DBs.
Yeah. Because I want
Okay.
cover 2. I want a cover 2 look, but I want as many. I want my linebackers to make decisions.
All right.
I feel like I'm gonna get crucified for this call. Someone else stack here. I feel like I'm about to get crucified.
Well, because you know what it is. Because 1st and 10 to me is always
Or wait.
a short play. So like I'm not
Yeah,
thinking,
like,
I'm not thinking like that we're gonna get beat
I'm
for like 8, 9, 10 yards.
I was thinking cover
Right.
1 because it's because you said typically used for run or quick pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even on a quick, well, that's why I need a
Especially at the start, at the start of a drive because you're on the 30.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
I'm like,
yeah.
But what I'm
my-
worried about cover 1, what I'm worried about with cover 1 is what if my safety doesn't? What if my safety or that's in the back doesn't cover post? Then I'm screwed.
well,
I need to
because
be
he said
safe.
because he said watch the tackles, so I'd be able to adjust depending on whether the tackles move forward. or
I
back.
would hope, but that's on the players, not on me.
You know what? Give me a good old Juan Castillo defense. Give me that wide 9. No, I'm kidding.
I
Okay,
forgot
let's
one
do that.
Castillo existed.
So are you thinking like this, Robert?
Yes. Exactly.
Okay.
And I can
Thoughts,
see
guys?
why.
Or I might run a crash in this look. I might run a crash 3. because I might make the stud go up. So basically, in a crash 3 situation, it's 1st and 10, so it's kind of brutal to run a crash 3. But basically, if I'm that concerned about a run here, I want to protect myself. So a crash 3, my stud goes into the gap as basically the fourth D lineman and protects me while I'm trusting my linebackers in coverage just in case of a passing situation.
So
My only thought is couldn't the halfback run an outside zone to the left?
Yeah, but I'm protecting for that because I'm soft squatting. Or I'm hard shelling or soft squatting. So I'm protecting. I'm fine if he gets 2 yards on the outside.
Well, then,
So
but then
let's
what-
say
what
crash
if-
3.
But then what if the line pulls to the left? Then everybody's blocking up that way
Right.
on a run.
Well, then I expect my linebacker to notice that and come down.
But that's the thing is there's 6 linemen there, so you only have 3 linemen at the line, so they're gonna pick up bang bang
we'll
bang.
We'll add a 4th lineman. Now, where do you want to put the 2nd linebacker?
Where do I want to put the 2nd linebacker? I want to put him on top of the. I want to put him on top of the S still because I want to protect the halfback. I'm scared of what the halfback's going to do in a flat situation, so I'm still putting him in the same spot.
Like, the only thing is, you're just leaving there's a lot of space on the left.
You're leaving a lot of space on the left, exactly. But I think my safety is going to move over there anyway, because the Y is right there. What is the safety looking at? He's only going to look at X here, pretty much.
Well, the thing about the space on the left is, look at how many blockers you have on the left, and look at how many defenders there are on the left. Because remember, we're not worried about space; we're more worried about blockers.
We're worried about leverage here. Here's the thing. There's so many people on that right side. I want that right side covered, not the left. If the X beats me, the X beats me. But look at what's on the right side.
Well, so if you're in cover 2, chances are the X is not going to be a problem.
No,
because if he goes on a deep route, free safety is right there.
He's basically bracketed.
If he tries to go inside,
the Y is right there. The will's right there. Yeah.
So X is probably fine. And here's the thing: you have 2 blockers on this side, 2 possible blockers, I should say. 1, 2, 3, 4 bodies on that side, and 3 in the box. So, really, if I'm in this look, I'm not worried about this side one bit.
At all. Yeah.
No. You're fine. You have way more bodies over there than they do. You're good. Where I am a little concerned is on the right side, because you have 3 possible blockers, 3 people over there in the box there. So theoretically, that's a blocker per person, right? So, and the mic doesn't count because he's in the middle. He's not on either side, right? So, Robert,
that's where I want the rover safety to make a decision. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then what about F?
Yeah, what if F leaks into the flat?
What if the H blocks? Then he goes to F immediately.
Because, right, so if you're in cover 2, like you were saying, so rover, you're going to be up here. Free, you'll be here.
That's why I never have my halfback block.
So this is lucky for you guys. Well, maybe not lucky, but my plan was to run a counter.
That's what I was thinking of.
Like that. So in this case, depending on the blocking, I'm thinking this probably picks up 6 or 7 yards. Because if you have the rover thinking deep right? His inclination at first is going to be to go back, but then hopefully once he sees that the tackles are going forward, then he'll come crashing down. And
Sorry.
theoretically, yeah, 1 second. And
take your time.
what I'm going to try to do is, because I have blockers for all these guys over here, so I'm going to try to get the center or maybe a guard up to Mike to make space. So really this is up to Rover to try and make this play, or on one of these guys to shed a block. So this is probably, since it's the side of the line where you have less defenders, probably going to be like a pickup of 6, maybe 7. Robert, go ahead.
It's still a failure. What about a crash 3 situation? What about a stud? If we switch it around and I have a stud, because in a crash 3 situation, the stud is supposed to crash right where that counter is supposed to go. So that's why I also thought of a crash 3 situation.
So in making a 4th linebacker instead of a 4th lineman?
Yeah.
Doesn't change anything because you still have the same amount of guys in the box on that side.
Damn it!
Shane, can you tell me what, like, with the things I was saying about cover 1, like how far off was I on that one?
That wasn't, I like that idea because
you're thinking first and 10.
Yeah, because cover 1's going to bring the rover down, not up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that would. I think cover 1 would probably be a more effective way to stop this. I mean, cover 2 is not bad because it's, especially on 1st and 10, it's a good, it's a good starting point. So this really is only on 1st and 10. I think this particular formation personnel you got here is going to be pretty good unless it's against a counter or some kind of a power run to the right side where you are specifically man up on the linemen are man up on their guys. Or if you're, if you have Z like going deep and then have F like, sneak underneath on a flat or a quick out, something like that. Those would be really the only 2 ways this would succeed against cover 2. So really, not a bad call, Robert. It's just
wait.
Was an unfortunate...
One question with the F in a cover 2. How does the F gets covered because the boundary corner would take care of the F and leave the Z to the rover? Correct?
No, cover 2.
In what
boundary corner
what you just draw on the right side?
Because this is cover 2, so boundary corner is in man.
How does the F get blocked, or how does the F get covered?
No, he doesn't. That's what I'm saying.
So he's
the best,
because
no. I'm saying the best option would be to go to F because he'll be wide open down
right,
here.
Okay, I got confused.
Yeah, unless Sam somehow gets on his donkey and comes all the way over here and covers him, but I don't think that's going to happen.
That's also why Madden's unrealistic, because when I do run plays like that, the freaking linebacker becomes a 99 overall and is chased down the flat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, cover 1 is a good idea. Cover 2 would also work as long as it's not one of those 2 situations. You just happen to get unlucky and have had the OC call one of the 2 things that works. But otherwise, yeah, that's not a bad idea. Ultimately you're cover 2 or on 1st and 10 is when the playbook is most wide open.
Yeah.
So it's really a gamble. Now, okay, let's do. All right. So Let's say we picked up 4 yards. All right. 4 yards. So that means it's now 2nd and
6 on your 36.
Thank you.
34.
34, excuse me. I short-circuited.
34. I was like, is anybody?
I'm not even a
gonna tell
math. I'm
me
not
this
even a
basic
math major. Jesus, I knew that one.
No, I slipped my mouth.
Oh Lord.
All right, so 2nd and 6.
Shane, I just want to be very careful of your clock because I know you have baseball and I know you need to go in about 9 minutes. So
I only have
Just
2
be-
more plays.
okay. Or no, we all have to go in
No.
about 9 minutes. So
Yeah. Now we're running the 2-minute drill.
Yes,
on
we
both
are.
sides of the ball.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, here we go. What play did I have? Oh yeah.
I'm gonna let you guys take
Um,
this one. I took the first one with the coverage. I'm gonna have you guys take this.
All right, we're in pistol doubles right. 2nd and 6. What are we thinking?
Well, pistol, doesn't that typically mean you've got a more mobile quarterback?
Oh my God, Scoop! Why are we stop?
Not
We're focusing on balance, not
Sorry.
who's
No.
at quarterback.
Pistol doesn't mean
Doesn't okay.
no, it doesn't correlate.
Matthew Stafford runs pistol a good amount. He's not a run quarterback.
I mean, everybody does. It's no.
Yeah.
I know why you say it though, because there's because Lamar Jackson and the Ravens ran a ton of pistol.
A
Yeah.
lot.
So now
that is accurate.
there's- So now there's an association with speed and pistol, but it's just kind of a
it's
coincidence more
it's
than anything.
overstated. Okay.
It's
No, it's more
massively
coincidental than
overstated,
anything. Anyways, but good thinking.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, no, Scoop, I actually appreciate you saying that because I forgot the association was a thing. I just ignored it because I think it's stupid. So good on you for saying that.
I just wanted to make sure because that was going to affect how my brain saw this.
You're thinking too much for your own good. We're saying 50 versus 50 overall. We're not saying that a guy's like mobile or anything. You're thinking about it too critically.
You know nothing.
You know nothing about the players.
This could be Trace McSorley or this could be Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
You don't know.
All right.
You have no idea.
I heard you the first time. All right.
I love him. He's a good back. Is he in the UFL still? I don't even remember. Anyway. Continue, Shane. We only limited time. Go.
No, I'm waiting for you guys.
Okay, well, someone tell me because I went the first
What defense
time.
do you want to come out in?
I mean, this because I'm thinking from an offensive, because of course I'm more of an offensive guy. Your whole playbook is basically your disposal because it's 2nd and medium. So it's like
I thought it was 2nd and 6.
Yeah, it's not long.
2nd and 6 is 2nd and medium. That's what 2nd and medium is.
Yeah.
It's
Medium
4,
is
5,
like
and
4 to 6.
4 to 6.
Yeah.
No, I misheard Brandon. I thought he said 2nd and 8. I misheard him.
Oh, geez.
No. Because I was gonna say, because I was like, you could run some sort of cover 3, but that's really for long. So you're looking at like that's where you would be like 2nd and 8, 3rd and 9, whatever it is. So I'm like, I'm not gonna run it there. And because cover 3 just sucks because you're leaving the slot open, and I don't like leaving the slot open on a 2nd and medium because you'll get burnt somewhere. Yeah, this is in this situation you're not really going. You shouldn't go deep.
I'm guessing I'm going to get this completely wrong, but I'm just going to throw this out there. Would it be like a cover 2 zone situation because you want to handle the middle of the field and like you said, intermediate plays, but by dropping them back a little bit, it reduces the opportunity for them to get the first down, and you're okay giving up a yard or two because then that puts them in a third down situation where their options are more limited.
It's not a bad thought. So what personnel do you want? You want 4 linemen, 3 linemen, 4 DBs, 5 DBs?
I mean, you're not really.
There's no one right answer.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, I'm
By the
trying to think of what works better. Like,
I'm thinking
There is a wrong answer, but there's
well,
There's a wrong answer.
well, because you got that extra blocker on the right side, wouldn't you want one extra guy in the box?
How do you know it's a blocker? Could be a pass.
mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Because he can go up the seam, he can go on, he can go in the flat.
Well, if you have an extra linebacker, couldn't he defend if that because that could theoretically be a tight end, right? So wouldn't that be you could put the linebacker on him?
Yeah.
I feel like like in this situation, I would almost want 3. I feel like because I just don't feel like you're gonna run it on second. So, I mean, you could, but I feel like you would want 3 linemen, 4 linebackers. Like to me, that's what I would think.
And only 4 DBs.
Because I feel like one of your linebackers can take the halfback out of the backfield if there's a route there. But yeah,
What about F? Because if you only have 4 DBs,
yeah,
you're leaving F up to a linebacker?
yeah, not really.
Are we sure?
Are we sure?
Because I don't know, and maybe it's just because I've looked at like play arts that show this way. 'Cause I keep thinking that like, are they going to try and put H on a whale route?
Possibly.
Unless you do, could you trying to do the math? I'm trying to think about it.
Yeah, I should be like drawing this out. I'm trying to do this in my head, is not.
I'll tell you what. Let me draw out the play I'm going to do, and you tell me what you think would be ideal.
That might work.
That will work.
All right. Here we go.
Even though that's not how defense. Even though that's not how it would work. But yeah.
That's fine.
Because if you're Brian Flores, you're running a 4-4 here, and someone's always open.
That's why I run a 4-4 if someone's running on me a ton.
Jesus Christ.
All right, go ahead.
Whoa.
You got to come back, a post, a quick out, a go, and a Texas route.
I still don't understand why it's called a Texas route.
I don't either,
It's
but
just what it's
I
called.
just a simple term for it is an angle route.
Angle's
that's
the other.
what I
That's
think
the
too.
other term.
That's what
yeah,
that's what I think I remembered it as. That's why I was throwing.
that's probably the correct one.
That's probably the correct one. We just call it Texas because we need something to represent the state in the playbook.
Apparently.
That's basically why.
I mean, you're gonna have to run some sort of cover too, especially if you got well. But is your linebacker gonna keep up over the middle? That's what's tough is like I don't.
Well, and here's the thing. Every no matter what defense you run,
someone's going to be
someone's going to be open.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the key now is we have to determine who are we okay with leaving open, and can we cover that with a disguise or with a blitz? And the answer is yes, you can.
Because I was going to say, well, couldn't you just, I guess, in a way, not like you could kind of like fake the blitz and like bring the linebackers down and then move them back into coverage post snap.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so it makes that quarterback think for an extra second.
So I think what I would do in this situation is this. Well, first of all, let me just put everyone in their formation.
Yeah, see, I don't see because it's for me. It's like as an offensive guy, I don't think about the defensive side of the ball. So it's like,
well, you should.
yeah,
It's
like
fun.
I know how to beat. I know how to beat certain coverages. I don't know how to flip it. Like in my head, I can't go the other way for some reason. So
Press coverage.
Yeah.
So this looks like it would be cover what?
This is a cover three.
Cover
Well,
two.
no, this is
it
cover
two,
three,
man?
deep cover 4, right?
2 or 4.
2 or
Yeah.
4, yeah.
Oh wait, would this be cover 4 palms?
This would be palms, yeah.
Yes.
Because everyone's this is
This-
palms. I would
More or less.
This-
Yeah.
I would originally think this would be palms.
But
Shit.
I'm going to disguise it. So I have, cover 2 or 4 disguise. What I'm going to do is run cover 1. And I'm going to do cover 1, Mike blitz. Let me tell you why. So we have these guys coming in.
Excuse me.
Have him crash there somewhere.
And I was thinking about that because 2nd and 6, you're not gonna try to get the whole thing. You're gonna because if you're getting 4 on a first down, and knowing you said that like you're a fan of like taking what the defense gives you, so it's like you're getting 4, you're gonna try to get another 4 to 5. So it's like then cover 1 stops short yardage.
Right.
So
in cover 1, free safety is going to be up there. So the one issue is you leave Z a little vulnerable.
yeah,
Way deep. But assuming he beats the boundary corner. But that's why you blitz. Because you want to add pressure on the quarterback so that he doesn't have time to let that route develop.
Get that play to
it
develop.
could probably force an errant throw. So
if you're cover 1, field corner is going to be tight on X, so he's probably not going to give up that comeback. Nickel's going to be tight on F, so and even if he does give that up, free safety's there. That's going to be a hospital pass. Will is going to be
on the
man up
tight
on
end.
Y. So you might think, well, okay, what about H? If we're in cover 1 Rover's going to come down. So he might catch it, but again, hospital pass. So this is an example of how to use disguises and blitzes to take, because this is offensively, there's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
Because this is, this is one of the plays we run. I'm not going to say the name of it.
Divulging secrets. This is not okay.
for yeah, well, yeah. But anyways, I mean this is a pretty common play anyways, but
Yeah.
but for good reason, because every coverage has one or two weaknesses against it. But in my opinion, this is the best way to stop it, because there is an answer for every hole. It's just about execution, right?
Mm.
And it's a great example of why blitzes and disguises can be used to they don't fix the holes, but they kind of like, it's like putting a piece
Mask
of
'em.
duct tape over it.
Masking
know?
them. Yeah.
Yeah. And to buy yourself just enough time to make the quarterback make a bad decision, whatever, right? So I think this is probably what I would do here. Disguise cover 2 or 4, and then run like a cover 1 robber, Mike blitz. I think that gives you your best shot. I think cover 3 could also work, although you'd be vulnerable to the comeback route from the X. Let's see, cover 2 would work, although you are. This is probably the other option I would consider is cover 2, and have because that would leave. Free safety would be over here, rover over there, so that would leave this middle open for F. So this is where I would run like Tampa 2 with Mike coming back.
In the back, yeah.
Yeah, and that does leave
The halfback angle route open.
halfback open, but that's a situation where it's like, okay, you give up a few yards instead of a first down. And then cover 4, I would not do here, because you're leaving X, H, and Y all open. So,
Oh, okay, because they're dropped back to. Okay.
Yeah, because they're all underneath. So,
Hmm.
So yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It says good and pass except underneath. My bad.
Yeah. I had one more example, but for time, I think we'll just save it.
Yes, we'll save it. We'll also save Knives Out until next week, because we're not doing a movie anyway next week. So we'll save that for next week. Shane, thank you for your time. I know you have a very busy schedule coming up. Good luck in the baseball game that you have.
Yeah, good luck, Shane.
Wish you and the team the best. Again, thank you for taking the extra time to teach us that and all that wonderful stuff.
I hope that all makes sense. But
yes, it does, and it's really helpful.
But if it doesn't, I will refund your course.
And for Scoop, Brandon, and Shane, thank you for your good words on a very difficult situation earlier today. Have a wonderful Masters weekend. For those of you like myself who celebrate Orthodox Easter, have a very blessed Easter. And whatever else you're celebrating this weekend, if you are celebrating anything outside the Masters, have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us. And we'll see you next week for our What We Want mock draft episode. Peace.